Everyone, it's Tasia, also known as Tasia Genealogist, and I want to ask a question, right? Um, Recently, I reached out to a genealogist that specializes in um, Southern Alabama genealogy, where my family's from, and he gave me a report, and in the report, he really didn't find anything that I was well. Let me back up. I asked him to help me find more information about my grandfather's parents, my great grandfather's parents. Um, and I go through the report, and nothing's really, he didn't really find anything, right? Like just saying, hey, we found your family dating back to here, you know, here's your great 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 grandfather, and here's this information on your great great grandmother, and none of that really. So, as I'm going through the report, he does mention a family. Now, on the screen, you'll see Richard Williams and his wife and his children. Now, this place, this area, this is Lowndes County, Alabama, Farmersville, and I have both my grandfather's father's family lived here and his mother's family lived here. So I've seen this 1880s document um, quite often because a few pages I'll find, my grandfather's mom's family on there. So, um, I've seen this document many a times, but I never paid attention to this family. Maybe because it's the surname Williams. I'm not looking for Williams, so I didn't pay any real attention to it until he pointed it out in the report. Just saying, hey, there's this family that lived in Farmersville, Lowndes County in 1880, kind of resembles the family that you're looking for. Now, mind you, I haven't been able to find my family prior to the 1900 census in Lowndes County. I've looked in other counties too. I haven't found them. So that's one of the reasons why I asked for his assistance. Now, do you see this? You got Richard, Eliza, Jesse, Willie. Looks like it's Mathis, Richard. Now, okay, let's go to 1900. 1900, right? 1900. Different last name. There's an Eliza, right? There's a Matthew. I've seen his name written as Matthew, and then I think on his draft record, Mathis, or something of that sort. It not spelled Matthew. It like I said, I think it was like Mathis or something. Then we have Richard. We have Scott, Ada, Waddy. Scott, Ada, and Waddy weren't born, so they won't be on, of course, the 1880 census. Now, Richard is deceased at this point. I know she had a husband named Richard from the death certificates and some other documents that I found that list Richard as being the father of these children, right? So this is the Eliza that I'm looking for. This is the family that I'm looking for. Now, if we go back, we see 1852, 1877, 1879, December, April, May. And let's go back. 1880, I have actual. So in 1880, Eliza would her date of birth, right? So she's 23. So 1857. Okay. Um, I believe that's right. 1857. Then we have Jesse, 1873. Willie, 1875. I don't know. I don't know what. But this person, 1878, and Richard, 1879. And Richard is the only one that has birth month listed as December. If we go back here, so again, there's a few years difference, right? 1852, and I said 1857. With Matthew, I said 1878, and this is 1877. Richard, 1880, and this is 1879, and it says December. Okay, so you may ask, well, what happened to Willie and Jesse? I haven't heard of Jesse, right, as being a sibling, a child, but I know that according to Eliza's death certificate that her son filled out, she had a father named Jesse. So, okay, maybe that's something right there. Willie, according to some records, Eliza, I believe, had a son named Willie. And the only reason why I'm saying believe, because I never put Willie, putting quotation marks around Willie or William, in the same household as Eliza. There is a William Cox that lived in Lowndes County, and he would have been older. So in 1900, there's no William here, but he's living someplace else with his wife, and he's like 25 years old, 26 years old, or something like that. So he's off on his own. Then William Cox moves to Bay Minette, where majority of this family relocates I would say between 1915 maybe and 1920. They're definitely there in 1920 because they're on the census records. So, and that William, who I believe is her son, he has a son named William Jr., and he lists Eliza as his relative. On the draft records, who's a relative that, will know where you live, or whatever it says. He lists Eliza. So that's that connection right there. And plus, so that's that. Could this be the same family? I'm not sure what happened to Richard, but we know he died. He's dead by 1900. Not sure. And on the 1910 census, Eliza is living with her son, Wardy, in Lowndes County. And it says, how many children did you have? Or how many children did you give birth to? And she says 7. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could this be the same family? I don't know. But I know it's important to look at things with fresh eyes, either your own or someone else's, because you miss things. And like I said, I've seen this document many times. Many times. Let me see if I can find the family real quick to show you. So that was 13. Will it be here? Will it be here? Can't remember what page they're on. I'll go one more page. 16. Okay. Let's just go to 11. Oh, shucks. Okay, we'll go to 10. And then we'll go to, if I can't find them, I'll go to 12. If I can't find them on 12, then I'll just, all right, I'm going to go to one more. I'm going to go to 9. Page 9. I know they weren't that far from each other. Okay, well, anywho, yeah, my family, like I said, my grandfather's mother's family is in this 1880 census. So I've seen this document many times before. Now, maybe I didn't go as far. Maybe I didn't go to, 13? Because, or maybe I just overlooked them. Now I'm wondering, where are they? 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 Now I'm gonna have to go through the whole thing just to find them. Underwood. Why should they be on page like 2 or something? Smiley. Now, let me tell you something about Smiley. On Eliza's death certificate, my great grandfather who filled it out lists her maiden name as Smiley. Her parents' names were Jessie and Ann Smiley. So in my tree, I have Smiley spelled the regular way, and then I have it spelled like this. I haven't been able to find anything really on Smiley. But now I think, let's go to 16. Oh, no, not 16. I just wanted to show you. I definitely skipped over it because I know they weren't this far up. I definitely missed them. But anyway, like I said, I think it is important to look at these documents with fresh eyes, either your own, take some time away from these documents, because that's what I was in the midst of doing, taking time away. And now I'm going back and I'm going through my files. What do I have for these people? Can I account for them, for every census year? And I can't. For Eliza, I can't find one from 1920 for her. She didn't die until 1927. So where is she? And I also can't find a census for her son Wardy. Again, in 1910, she was living with her son Wardy in Lowndes County. So 1920, I don't have one for Wardy, and I don't have one for Eliza. I don't see them on the 1920 census. So my plan is to go through page by page by page the 1920 census in Bay Minette, where majority of the family was. So I'm going to look in Lowndes County and in Bay Minette. Maybe their name is spelled differently. I don't know. I'm going to look. But we'll see what I can find. And currently, I am trying to organize my documents. Right now, my documents are a mess. I started researching in 2007. It's 2025. I should be ashamed of myself. There's been times where I've organized, then I've stopped. I've organized, then I've stopped. I have binders for certain things, and then I have bins, and I have a hard drive, but not everything is transferred on the hard drive, and not everything is, not everything is like organized at all. There's things that are not organized. So I'm taking the time to organize them and going through my documents, my physical documents and my digital documents, and organize them like that. Each family will have a folder, and then within that folder, the children in that family will have a folder. So, for instance, if the oldest relative ancestor that I have, say it's my great grandfather. Great grandfather, I'll have the surname, then I'll have him, then I'll have his family, all his children. Then each one will have their own folder. I don't know how deep I'm going to go into their folders. Probably because those are my grandfather's siblings. But my grandfather will have one. Then from my grandfather, I will have information about our family, my mom and her siblings. But with my grandfather's siblings, I'll have information about them. I don't know how deep I'll go into, I'm gonna build these folders and then put whatever the information I have in there. Then I'm gonna circle back. That's what I'm gonna do with everybody. I will be circling back because this is a really huge project that I should have been doing from the beginning. I know. So now it's a few days a week. I'm going through and just throwing, folders or throwing documents in, and then going back to make sure that it's named properly. What is this in the folder that I have? And some of the folder names are census records, marriage licenses, military records, memberships if they were part of any type of organization. I should add work documents, but what else? Death certificates, I know I'm missing a few, but that's what I'm putting in each person's folder. Then I will add those assets in and move on to the next one. So this is going to take a long time because I have a lot of documents all over the place, but it needs to get done. And this can help me with my research because now I know what documents I have for Eliza, I have for Matthew, I have for Richard. I know exactly where they are. They're on this hard drive, or they're in this folder, or they're in both, because I'm not going to get rid of my like paper documents, I'm going to keep them in the folder, make sure that's organized. But first, I think the hard drive is a little easier. Set that up, then I can go to the physical documents, scan that, then put it in the folders that's already created. That's the plan. So it's gonna take me a while, but I'm gonna get it done. But within wrapping this up, can this, or do you think this is the same family? Is it a coincidence that they're in the same like area? Farmersville beat 5. And this says Farmersville Precinct 5. It's the same area, same family members, same surnames that you see. So I don't know. I'm thinking this is I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm gonna look more into it, and but it could be. And then that's even the next question is why did they change the surname? You know? So yeah. I'll keep you posted on everything, but just wanted to share this with you, and yeah. All right. See you on the next one.